Tennessee improves to 8-0 on the season, 4-0 inside SEC play. A 44-6 win over Kentucky in a game that was never close. Kentucky scored on its second offensive possession of the football game, misses the PAT, and that's all she wrote. It was Tennessee from the get-go. Austin Price, Eric Cain, Brent Hubbs. Austin, what a performance from Tennessee. Not just the offense. We expect that from the offense, but the defense as well.
Yeah, defensively, I said this in the 2-minute drill. I thought Tennessee could win this game by 30 points. It just wasn't 44-6. I didn't think Tennessee would only allow 6 points. Will Levis, I joked, looked more like undrafted free agent than top 10 pick. He was not very good tonight. Rodriguez did have the one drive where Hype said, he kind of got going and getting to the second level. Outside of that, Tennessee's defensive line dominated. Hubbard talked about it in the 2-minute drill. DJ Terry was great. I thought Omari Thomas made plays. Tennessee was able to get home off the edge with Byron Young a few times. So, just a dominating, suffocating performance. And then the corners, Hubbard, Brandon Turnage stepping up. Maybe he's the Josh Dobbs of defense. Just, practice, okay, turn it on Saturdays, and he just plays better. I mean, he played really, really well at Alabama in his opportunity. He obviously got knocked out last week with the, kind of jammed his neck up against the padding and had to come out of the game. But then tonight was really, really good, had a pick. And then Danico Slaughter, just play him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the takeaway here is did they find some answers at corner that they've been looking for? Josh Heupel said, their coverage was tighter. Eric, I think their coverage was tighter because you had two corners who played pretty fearless out there. And I think Danico Slaughter doesn't have any fear in the way he plays the game of football. And I think Brandon Turnage played with a lot of confidence. It was kind of neat to see that group grow within the game. And I thought that as the game went along, the more they got tighter and tighter on coverage, and we're not worried about getting thrown over our head.
Yeah. They were really good tonight, and let's be real. Danico Slaughter kind of referenced this after the football game. By the way, no filter for the microphone.
No, he has no filter for anything.
Yeah, you kind of got to respect that a little bit. But not a very experienced group of wide receivers for Kentucky. There's some talent there. Barryon Brown's going to be really good. Dane Key made some plays, but this was kind of the perfect game for Danico Slaughter to slide out and play his first ever cornerback in a football game. For Brandon Turnage to get 50, 60 snaps, whatever it was. So they did a really nice job. I thought DeJohn Terry up front. I thought Omari Thomas up front. I thought Aaron Beasley and Juwan Mitchell for the most part flew around and made some plays as well. I was impressed with this defense from top to bottom. Kentucky is not going to score 40 points a game. Kentucky is not super explosive, but it is a team good enough to beat you. And that wasn't even a thought tonight.
No, I thought that they had a great scout for this team. For Kentucky, Tim Banks did. I thought they had a great rhythm in terms of it felt like they were in Kentucky's hip pocket, like they knew what was coming. They played the screen stuff really well. They did a lot of good. They did a lot of really good things. Are they going to play better offense moving forward? Absolutely. Okay, we know that. Tight ends. We know the Georgia game is going to be a total different challenge. But for a defense that's had a hard time getting off the field on third down, to only give up 2 third-down conversions in this game, and one of those was on that, whatever that 7-minute or 8-minute drive Kentucky was, where they're like, we just don't want to punt it back to you.
Yeah.
We're not going to really try to score to end the game. We just don't want to give you the ball back. I mean, seriously, you played to not score there.
We don't want you to hang 50 on
that was basically.
Hey, Tennessee with the 11 minutes to go, they're sitting there milking the play clock down. I'm like, jeez.
But again, I thought it was a really complete performance on defense. Should give them some confidence moving forward. And offensively, Josh Heupel's got exactly what he wants. They scored 44 points, and he's going to go to that film room on Monday and
say we should have scored 60.
We left 3 touchdowns out there easy because we didn't do a couple things we needed to do, which is perfect for what Josh Heupel's looking for. As he said in his postgame, this team's not played its best football yet. By the way, too, shout out to Paxton Brooks tonight.
Yeah, he rebounded.
He did. He punted the ball really
well.
Had
a boomer in the first half, and then those 2 dropped inside the 5.
Well, and here's the thing, too. We talk about culture and buy-in, and all that stuff gets overblown and over-talked, right? Jimmy Holiday is playing, 8 snaps a game, 10 snaps a game?
And having a fair catch most of it.
He's fair catching that. But you know what? He fielded 2 punts inside the 5-yard line strictly on effort plays.
Yep.
I mean, he flat out flew down the field and did what he needed to do. You know, that's a guy I'm sure wants to play more, but he's accepting the role he's in right now, and he's playing.
Yep.
And so that's another example of kind of where this team is. Josh Heupel talked about it afterwards, Eric, that, you know, it's a fun locker room right now. I mean, how's it not, right? These kids are having a lot of fun.
No, they are, and they deserve to have a whole lot of fun after games. I mean, you win 44-6. You're undefeated. You don't have a loss on your schedule. You know, we're going to spend all next week, Austin, talking about Georgia, and what a big week this is going to be. But
Game days already announced they're going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the big.
But you knew they would.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, the whole world's there.
What a big night for Jalen Hyatt. Of course, now a record holder in Tennessee lore.
Yeah, I got to meet Chad Johnson before the game, and
Chad Johnson become the mascot. It's like Smokey and Chad Johnson this season.
I asked him. I said, "Do you know anything about Marcus Nash?" I kind of did put him in a tough spot. It's like my dad. My dad is the king of walking up to me and going, "Hey, do you remember this person? Hey, Craig, why don't you help me out and say, do you remember Billy Bob?" And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know you,
Craig's
Billy Bob."
good people now. Okay.
He is the greatest,
He's
the
the
best
best.
dad on the earth, but he's still the king of setting you up in those ways. So, and my mom will tell you that. I set Jalen up in a bad way. Kind of felt like my dad. And I said, "You know anything about Marcus Nash?" He said, "No, I've got to study up on Tennessee history." You know, you could tell he felt bad.
Right, sure.
But I mean, he also said, "Man, I'm just focused on. I don't even want to worry about 14 touchdowns. You know, just keep throwing me the ball, and we'll see how many I can score. We'll total them up at the end of the year and see what the record is."
And again, wide open on so many of those plays tonight.
That's my thing.
One of those J.J. Wright or J.J. Weaver, whatever, the outside linebacker was on him. It's like, okay, that should not ever happen to Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah. I mean, and you keep looking at that and you keep saying, well, boy, they busted that. But it's like Alabama tried to cover him with a slot nickel guy and a linebacker and bracket coverage, and they scheme him open. And then it's like, I think Rob asked the question about, is this talent? Is this scheme? And Josh Heupel was like, it's talent because they have to execute it. There's a little scheme involved because, I mean, 3 of Hyatt's 4 catches tonight. Did he finish with 4, or is there 5 in there? I think there was 4. But anyway, 3 of them, there wasn't anybody in the zip code.
5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't anybody around him when he caught the football. And it's crazy to me that they can get that slot position guy open the way that they're getting him open. Lots of things, lots of praise to a lot of guys. Jalen Wright, have you a night. Probably should have got more carries than what he got. He could have easily had a 150-yard night tonight the way he was playing. Best balance, vision.
Yeah.
He was hot tonight. He really was.
He's the hardest runner, in my opinion, on the team. It's just, sometimes he puts the ball on the ground.
Well, tonight they were trying to tackle the football. He did a good job holding on to it, but really good balance. A couple of really nice runs. Again, you're just seeing individuals get better, which means collectively your football team's getting better.
I thought Darnell Wright played a really good game, and we'll learn more a lot on the rewatch. But DJ Terry on the defensive line, I thought Darnell Wright looked really good on the offensive line. Hendon, again, you're getting to that point this season, and I've never done this. It's been a while for you guys, but Hendon put up 200 and however many passing yards.
245, 19 to 25 for 245, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
You start comparing that to Stroud every single week and to everybody else. Hendon
4 total touchdowns because he ran for 1.
Hendon is continuing to keep pace, and he's a huge reason why Tennessee's where they are right now. He's playing good football.
Yeah, 100%. And again, just total in sync. Out of his 6 incompletions, there was a couple of them he just missed the guy. He short hopped one. He overthrew Brew down here on a dig that would have been a 15 or 16 yard catch before any type of yards after contact. Hendon's just playing really, really good football, and I think that it's easy to state. Well, if he's going to be the reason Tennessee wins next week. It's not even his play; it's his belief. It's this whole this is our goal, this is our goal, this is our goal. Well, it all comes down to next week. You've now set yourself up to go play for it next week. So this is the moment he's been building towards.
How many times have we heard him recount that conversation with Heupel when he said he was coming back? Hey, let's go get a championship. Let's go to Atlanta. Let's go get a championship. At the time last December, I'm not going to lie, and I know everyone listening right now is probably with me. I'm like, okay, well, that's cute. But really, you win next week, and you're going to go play for one.
Yeah, 100%. It all comes down to next week. Win, if you lose, you're not. You win, you are. I mean, I know technically Tennessee could still lose 2 of the next 3, but that's not happening. Like South Carolina is not a good football team. Missouri is not a good football team, and Vanderbilt is not a good football team.
Well, you get through Saturday, you get past that game. I'm not saying they're going to win or anything. I'm just saying the 3 games after that, they're playing 3 teams that can't score.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat Tennessee if you can't score.
Yep.
And they just, those 3 teams have a hard time scoring, and Tennessee is going to be able to score. But back to Hendon. To me, it's the control of the game that he has. Mm-hmm. Like his command on the sidelines with everybody. Everybody looks to him. His command of the game pre-snap. His command of the game once the ball is snapped. Fans should really appreciate that, because there's going to be, look, there'll be other talented quarterbacks. I mean, this is the same guy that Tennessee looked at in spring practice and winter workouts when they first got here and said, we need to go find a quarterback. Mm-hmm. We need to go find Joe Milton, because Hendon Hooker was broke. His confidence was broke. Everything ended bad at Virginia Tech. It was not going the right way. And for him to be where he's at right now, it's one thing to play well. It's another thing to control a game.
Yeah.
He's in complete control of everything from the moment he walks into the stadium.
Yeah,
it's pretty remarkable.
It's the second year of the system, but it's not just that. It's the work you put in watching film, getting on that same wavelength as your coaches, but also the players coming here and hitting the jugs like the receivers do, throwing 1,000 routes on air throughout a week of summer, whatever it is. He has put in the work, and you're seeing it on the football field, and it's incredible too. It's pretty unique.
Yeah. Last thing for me, and I know we're wrapping up here. Here's the other hidden thing that's not been that is out there. And somebody asked about this in the postgame. Look at the number of games Tennessee's stolen points at the end of the half, and flipped the script on the game. The Florida game flipped.
Yeah.
In the last 4 of the first half and the first 4 of the second half. LSU, they stole points there. Right?
Oh, thanks, Brian Kelly.
Right. I mean, you look at what they've done to be able to get points and flip the momentum of football games at the half. They did it in this game right here. I mean,
they did it last year against Kentucky.
Yeah, they totally
did it again this year against Kentucky.
Yeah. And that's something that their belief in their system, their belief in their quarterback, but their aggressive play in those closing minutes of the first half have really paid dividends for this team.
Last thing I do want to say, and Heupel made mention of this, Austin, in postgame, Tennessee is getting healthier, but how critical was it?
A few players talked about that too.
Yeah.
Like I think Jalen said that next week they'll be the healthiest they've been in a long, long time.
Kamal hadn't dressed. He probably could have went tonight if he had to have him. Christian Charles went through warm-ups. He was dressed. I mean, I don't know if he could have went tonight or whatever, but you have guys like that. Cedric Tillman played the first half, didn't take a snap in the second half.
Which was smart. I mean, like they had the lead. There was no point to play him.
And what a nice and again, they're not geniuses for doing this. Is what a lot of coaches should do. Design a couple things early, script a couple things early, get the ball in his hand, let him get his feet wet.
Did you hold your breath when he went out there and caught that high throw?
But just let him get tackled a couple of times and then go from there. And obviously he played probably a few more snaps than they thought he was going to play, but it was smart to shut him down in the second half.
Tennessee's getting healthy. Tennessee's playing good football. And Tennessee's rolling in with a lot of momentum, especially defensively. Again, 6 points allowed. This is not an offense that's going to, be All-Americans or anything, but a lot of good things from Tennessee's defense from this one. And the big stage, once again, we're going to spend all week long previewing Tennessee and Georgia, potentially number 1 and number 2 in the country. The college football playoff rankings, the first installment comes out on Tuesday. We'll have that as well, but it's a big one on Saturday in Athens between the hedges, Tennessee and Georgia, and Tennessee is playing good football and rolling in with a whole lot of confidence. 44-6 win over Kentucky. Tennessee 8-0, 4-0 in SEC play, and we'll have continual coverage all at Volquest.com throughout the weekend, Sunday and Monday into Georgia week. I appreciate you guys for listening. As always, here at the Volquest.com mini podcast, I'm Eric Cain with Brent Hubbs and Austin Price.